Are you giving up too soon? 12 secrets to change your life with absolute consistency. Hey, let's be honest. How many times have you started a new project, hitting the gym, learning a language, journaling, only to give up after a few weeks or even a few days? You feel guilty, blame yourself for lacking willpower, and get stuck in the plan-fail loop. You're not alone. The truth is, you don't lack motivation. What you're missing is the right system for consistency. Welcome to our channel, where we explore the secrets to living a more meaningful life together. In today's special length video, I won't just tell you why you fail, but I'll share 12 golden secrets to build absolute consistency in your studies, work, and life. This is not a video about empty motivation. This is a detailed, step-by-step roadmap to help young adults like you turn frustration into continuous achievement. By the end, you'll know how to turn big goals into small, unmissable actions. Get ready, because your life-changing journey starts right now. All right, we are ready. Let's dive into the 12 golden secrets to build unbreakable consistency. We'll start with the most important thing, the foundation of all lasting success. Secret 1, dig deep into the why, the power of purpose. Think about this. When initial motivation fades, what keeps you going? It's not willpower, it's the why you started. This reason cannot be superficial, like I want to be richer or I want to be healthier. It must be a powerful emotional driver, a deep fire within you. Your reason needs to answer the question, what will happen if I don't do this? If you want to learn English, what is your true why? Is it to get a better job? To be able to take your parents traveling without needing a translator? Or to read original books and transform your thinking? For example, we have Nguyen. Initially, Nguyen's goal was just to get IELTS 7.0. But every time he felt discouraged, he wanted to give up. Then he dug deeper and realized the true reason was because he wanted to be sent abroad for work to learn the latest technology, return to upgrade his team, and prove to his family that he could do it. This reason is not just about the number 7.0. It's about vision, value, and love or responsibility. When tired, Nguyen doesn't ask, should I study? But rather, do I want to upgrade my team? Do I want to make my parents proud? His consistency is suddenly reinforced by a reason greater than himself. Small tip number 1. Use the 5 whys method to find your true why. Start with the goal and ask why 5 consecutive times. Example, goal, I want to exercise. Why 1? To be healthier. Why 2? To have enough energy to work. Why 3? To earn more money. Why 4? To be able to invest in my children's future. Why 5? Core why. Because I don't want my children to have the difficult life I once had. Small tip number 2. Write this core why down as a consistency manifesto and stick it where you see it every day, on your computer screen, in your wallet, or on your mirror. This is not a random inspirational quote. It is your vow to the future you want to build. In summary, consistency is not a battle against laziness. It is the reinforcement of your why every day. Find your most powerful emotional driver. If the why is big enough, the how becomes clear. And that is the first secret. Now that we have identified the inner fire, how do we start taking action without being overwhelmed? Let's move on to the second secret. Secret 2. Start super small. The art of minimum viable action. After having a big why, the most common mistake is setting goals that are too big immediately. You say, I'll go to the gym for 2 hours every day, or I'll read this whole book in a week. What happens? Day 1 is great, day 2 is hard, and by day 3, your brain automatically avoids it because it feels overwhelmed. The secret to consistency lies in eliminating that overwhelm. We need a concept called minimum viable action. Instead of setting a life-changing goal, set a goal that is so small you cannot refuse it. Look at the story of Hung. He wanted to run, but the 5-kilometer every morning goal made him procrastinate. When he applied the MVA, he changed his goal to just put on my shoes and walk out the door. That's it. No need to run, no need for 5 kilometers. If he walks out the door and wants to turn back, he absolutely can. What is the magic that happens? Once Hung puts on his shoes and steps out, almost 90% of the time he'll say, I'm already out here, might as well run for another 5 minutes. Overcoming the startup barrier is the hardest part, and the MVA eliminates that barrier. The brain is no longer afraid. Small tip number 1. Apply the 2-minute rule from James Clear. If the action you want to do takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. Example, studying. Read 1 sentence in the textbook. Writing, write 1 sentence. Cleaning the house, put 1 mug in the sink. Small tip number 2, your goal now is not the result, but attendance. If you study for 5 minutes every day for 30 days, you have completed the 30-day consistency goal. The important thing is never miss 2 days in a row. Remember, when you feel lazy, it's not the time you need motivation, but the time you need to shrink the action. Find the smallest action that you are 100% sure you can do. Consistency is built from a series of undeniable small victories. After having a powerful why and knowing how to start small, how do we ensure that small action becomes an automatic habit? We'll explore this in Secret 3. Secret 3. Habit stacking. Leveraging the power of automation. We have the small action, but how do we make sure it's not forgotten? The problem for many people is that they try to create new habits in a vacuum. Instead, Secret 3 is habit stacking, attaching the new habit you want to build to an old, well-established routine. The formula is simple. After I make my morning coffee, I will study 5 vocabulary words for 2 minutes on the app. Making coffee is an automatic daily action. Lan doesn't need motivation to make coffee, and that action immediately triggers the need to study vocabulary. She has turned a difficult new habit into an automatic part of her morning. Consistency is no longer a choice, but a chain reaction. Small tip number 1. Make sure your cue, the old habit, is specific and unambiguous. Not after I wake up, but rather after I brush my teeth or after I turn off the bedroom light. Small tip number 2. Use your transition moments during the day as they are golden opportunities for habit stacking. Example, after finishing a meeting, write down 3 tasks for tomorrow. After closing the car door, call a family member. The power of consistency lies in making the action automatic. Don't try to create a habit from scratch. Attach it to the existing flow of your life. The new habit doesn't need to fight for attention, it just needs to ride along with the old one. We have the why, the micro-action, and the way to attach it. But what happens when life gets busy and we start to miss things? Secret 4 will address this problem. Secret 4. The never miss twice rule. The art of rapid recovery. Here's the truth no one tells you. You will fail. You will have tired days, sick days, days so busy you forget everything. The fatal mistake is allowing 1 miss to become 2 misses, then 3 misses, and just like that, your consistency streak collapses. The secret to consistency is not perfection, but resilience. The never miss twice rule is your safety brake. If you miss your habit on Tuesday, day 1, your single goal on Wednesday, day 2, must be to do it, even if it's just the minimum viable action, MVA. Min, someone who wants to write a book. His goal is to write 500 words every morning. One day he had to wake up early for a business trip and missed his habit. The next day he returned home at 10 p.m., exhausted. Instead of saying, "Well, I'll catch up tomorrow," he remembered secret 4. Min just opened his laptop, typed one sentence, and closed it. That action didn't create much value in terms of results, just one sentence, but it was incredibly valuable psychologically. It told Min's brain, we are the kind of person who bounces back. We always return. This protected his habit streak and prevented one miss from turning into a disaster. Small tip number 1, create an if-then plan for failure. Example, if I miss my morning meditation, then I will perform the minimum viable action of 5 deep breaths right after lunch. Small tip number 2, practice self-forgiveness. Instead of blaming yourself, "I am an inconsistent person," say, "I made a mistake, but I can still be a consistent person right now." Never turn a temporary slip-up into a permanent personal label. Long-term consistency is not about never making a mistake, but the ability to never miss 2 days in a row. Failure is inevitable, but allowing yourself to quit is the fault. Always have a tomorrow to make things right. We now know how to recover. The next secret is how to make our actions more attractive so that we actually want to do them instead of having to do them. Let's move on to secret 5. Secret 5, temptation bundling, turning tasks into rewards. Why do we lack consistency? Simply because the actions that help us progress, studying, exercising, often yield delayed gratification, while the things we like to do, watching Netflix, scrolling social media, offer instant gratification. Our brain always chooses the instant reward. Secret 5 is using the technique of temptation bundling. This is the formula for tying an action you need to do to an action you want to do, only allowing yourself the instant gratification after completing the hard task. Let's take the example of Chi, who hates cleaning the house but is addicted to listening to crime history podcasts. She created a rule. I am only allowed to listen to my favorite podcast while cleaning the house or washing dishes. Suddenly, cleaning is no longer a dreadful chore. It becomes the key that unlocks the door to entertainment. The psychology behind this is powerful. You are reprogramming your brain to link the difficult action, cleaning, with immediate pleasure, listening to the podcast. Consistency is maintained because you look forward to doing the task, not because you tried to force yourself. Small tip number 1. List 2 columns. Column A, need to do, habits requiring consistency. Column B, want to do, instant rewards, listening to music, watching vlogs, snacking. Match each item in column A with an item in column B. Small tip number 2, you can stack actions. Example, you are only allowed your favorite dessert after you complete your morning meditation and send your work report. This creates greater leverage for your consistency. Consistency is not about enduring. It's about finding ways to make progress enjoyable. Stop separating work and reward. Bundle them together so you want to start the action immediately. We've made the action attractive, but how do we always remember to do it? Secret 6 will be about setting up the environment to automate consistency. Secret 6. Environment design. Automating consistency. Many people think consistency means fighting temptation and laziness, but the truth is, You don't need willpower to fight if you eliminate the battlefield. Willpower is a limited resource. When you're tired, your environment wins. Secret 6 is environment design. The goal is to make good actions easy, obvious and easy, and bad actions hard, invisible and hard. You make your consistent action the choice of least friction. Tuan wanted to wake up early to study, but often wasted 30 minutes scrolling on his phone. He decided, 1. Charge his phone in the living room, far from the bed. 2. Place his textbook, pen, and a bottle of water ready on the desk the night before. When the alarm rings, the first thing he does is not reach for his phone, but get up, walk to the living room, and find everything ready for study. Tuan won before the battle began. He increased the friction for the bad habit, scrolling, and reduced the friction for the good habit, studying. The environment has become the guardian of his consistency. This required willpower once the night before, but saves willpower every single day. Small tip number 1. Set up the work the night before. Example, gym, hang gym clothes and shoes right next to the bed. Healthy eating, prepare lunch in a bento box and place it in the fridge. This eliminates the need to make a decision in the morning. Small tip number 2. Hide temptations. If you're trying to reduce social media time, delete the app on your phone. Increase friction. If you're trying to diet, don't buy junk food and keep it out of sight. You can't desire what you don't see. Consistency is not fighting yourself, but protecting yourself from bad choices by changing your living space. Environment design is turning consistent actions into what you automatically do. We've automated the start. Now, how do we track progress and maintain momentum after making everything easy? Secret 7 will reveal the importance of tracking.
Secret 7. Visual tracking. Don't break the chain. Once the action becomes easy and automatic, the biggest challenge is maintaining momentum. Humans need to see progress. If you work consistently without tracking, the brain will gradually lose interest because it lacks positive feedback. Secret 7 is visual tracking. This is the technique of turning consistency into a game, where the goal is to not break the chain. Every day you perform the habit, you create a visible mark, a large X on a calendar, a sticker, or a colored line. Quinn wants to practice the piano for 15 minutes every day. She taped a large calendar next to the piano. Every time she finished, she drew a sparkling star on that day's box. After 10 days, she had a chain of stars. Quinn's greatest satisfaction was not the improved playing skills, but looking at the unbroken chain of stars. Visual tracking created instant feedback for an action with delayed results. Humanity's biggest failure is losing sight of the effort invested. The habit chain is physical proof that you are becoming the person you want to be. The feeling of losing the streak becomes a powerful motivator to keep going. Small tip number 1. Use the paperclip method. Place 2 jars, jar A with 20 paper clips, jar B empty. Every time you complete the habit, move 1 clip from A to B. Seeing jar B fill up creates a clear sense of progress. Small tip number 2. When you apply the never miss twice rule and have to break the chain, don't just cross it out. Write down why you missed and the lesson you learned. This turns failure into data, not a reason for self-punishment. Visual tracking is the most powerful psychological lever for consistency. It provides instant gratification and creates a small social pressure, even just on yourself, to maintain the streak. Make your progress tangible. We now have a way to maintain momentum, But how do we keep consistency from becoming boring and rigid over time? Secret 8 will help you adjust.
Secret 8. The Goldilocks rule. Keeping the challenge just right. Have you ever felt consistency starting to become boring? When a habit becomes too easy, we lose focus. Conversely, if the habit is too hard, we give up. Both extremes are enemies of consistency. Secret 8 is applying the Goldilocks rule. This is the state where you perform a task that is just difficult enough to maintain focus, but not so hard that you get discouraged. You need to find your just right challenge zone. An is learning coding. Initially, he only studied for 5 minutes, MVA, which was very easy. After a month, it became boring. Instead of increasing to 60 minutes, too hard, An increased the challenge level to study for 20 minutes and apply a newly learned concept to a small project. When finished, he felt satisfied because he learned something new and more meaningful than just repetition. This creates the peak experience, also known as the state of flow. When you are in the flow state, time passes quickly. You are completely absorbed in the work, and consistency is maintained naturally. You don't need to force yourself. The work pulls you in. Small tip number 1. Increase the challenge by 1% each week. This is a small, insignificant adjustment that helps you avoid burnout but is enough to stave off boredom. Example, if you squat 10 times, squat 11 times next week. Small tip number 2. Reevaluate the habit every 30 days. Ask, is this MVA goal too easy now? And adjust it slightly larger to keep yourself in the just right challenge zone. The goal must evolve with your skill. Consistency is not about doing the same thing the same way forever, but continuously adjusting the difficulty to keep the work fresh and challenging. Become the scientist of your own habits, finding the perfect, just right spot. We now know how to combat boredom. The next secret will help you harness the immense power of community and relationships to reinforce consistency. Let's move on to Secret 9. Secret 9 is finding an accountability partner, the power of the social contract. When you are only accountable to yourself, skipping a habit becomes too easy. Your brain is great at justifying laziness. We tend to take promises made to others more seriously than promises made to ourselves. Secret 9 is finding an accountability partner. This is a trusted friend, colleague, or family member who will check your consistency and keep you on track. This creates positive social pressure. Duck and Mai wanted to read self-improvement books for 20 minutes every morning. They decided to be each other's accountability partners. Every morning after reading, they send a text message to each other summarizing the 3 main ideas they just read. If one doesn't send it, the other calls after 30 minutes. This works because it introduces public commitment and a penalty reward system. Duck and Mai don't just read for themselves, but also because they don't want to let the other person down. The fear of losing face is sometimes a stronger motivator than willpower. Small tip number 1. Create a binding penalty, stakes. You can promise, if I miss the habit 3 days in a row, I will transfer 50,000 VND to a charity I dislike. This makes quitting costly. Small tip number 2. If you can't find a specific person, join a community with similar goals, a study group or a yoga class. This harnesses the power of group identity, making you want to be part of that consistent group. Consistency is not just individual effort, but social bonding. Find a reliable partner to share your goals, turning a personal journey into a shared commitment. When someone is waiting for you, you are less likely to let them down. We now have external support. The next secret will help us link habits together to create an unbreakable chain of effective actions, which is building a habit megachain. Let's move on to Secret 10.
Secret 10. Build a habit chain. Optimizing your day. We have individual habits, but if they aren't arranged logically, they can become scattered and compete for time. Your day turns into a series of random actions, easily interrupted. Secret 10 is building a habit chain, utilizing the habit stacking concept, but on a larger scale. Instead of just attaching one habit, you create an inseparable script for a segment of your day. Ling wanted an effective morning. She created a morning habit chain. 1. After turning off the alarm, I drink a glass of water. 2. After finishing the water, I meditate for 5 minutes. 3. After meditating, I write down 3 tasks for the day. This chain transforms the morning from having to make a series of decisions into an automatic flow of actions. The power of the habit chain lies in minimizing decision fatigue. When one action ends, your brain is already programmed to immediately perform the next action. Habits are linked together by logic and time, creating a consistency system much stronger than the sum of its individual parts. Small tip number 1. Instead of creating one habit chain that lasts all day, divide your day into mini chains: morning start chain, lunch transition chain, and evening end chain. This makes your system more flexible and easier to recover if one chain is broken. Small tip number 2, add a relaunch habit at the end of each chain. Example, after completing the morning chain, the final action is tidy the workspace. This puts you in the perfect state to start the next effective work session. The best consistency is unconscious consistency. By arranging your actions into a habit chain, you don't need to think or make decisions. You just follow the established script. We now have the complete system. Now, how do we reinforce these habits with self-awareness and philosophy? Secret 11 will take us back to personal identity. Let's move on to Secret 11.
Secret 11. Build identity first. The power of who you become. Most people set the wrong goal. They focus on the results. I want to lose 5 kilograms. I want to have 1 billion VND. When the outcome motivation fades, consistency disappears. Results-based goals are fragile because they depend on things you don't control yet. Secret 11 is build identity first. Set a goal of who you want to become. Consistency now is not the action you do, but the action you need to do to validate your new identity. Nam wanted to be consistent with the gym. Instead of saying, I must go to the gym 3 times a week to lose weight, he changed his declaration, I am an athlete. Athletes don't skip workouts. When he faced laziness, the question was no longer, should I work out, but does this action align with an athlete's identity? Every time Nam goes to the gym, it's not just a workout, it's a vote for the athlete identity. The habit becomes an expression of his nature, not a task to be completed. Consistency becomes a belief system rather than an action system. Small tip number 1. Create a short identity statement. Start with I am. Example, I am a consistent writer, not I want to write a book. I am a lifelong learner, not I need to learn more knowledge. Read this statement daily. Small tip number 2. When faced with temptation, ask yourself, what would a blank desired identity do in this situation? If you are a money saver, would you buy that unnecessary item? This question immediately links the small action to your larger identity. The most sustainable consistency comes from within. Don't look for external motivation. Find the reason for being for your action. Turn every small habit into proof that you truly are the person you want to become. We have reinforced personal identity. The final secret, Secret 12, will tie all these secrets together,
creating a comprehensive life philosophy for never-ending consistency.
Secret 12. The continuous loop. The philosophy of permanent improvement. Many people believe consistency is a destination. Once I reach goal X, I'll be consistent. But the reality is, consistency is a never-ending process. Focusing on the final outcome makes it easy to quit after achieving or failing. Secret 12 is embracing the continuous loop. This is the philosophy that the goal is not to be consistent, but to continuously improve your consistency system. Consistency is an ongoing process of building, measuring, and adjusting. Let's summarize. You start small, MVA, habit stack to get the cue to start, and track for instant reward. When you fail, you use the never miss twice rule to recover. After 30 days, you apply the Goldilocks rule to adjust the difficulty. In this way, you are not trying to reach an endpoint, you are simply focusing on always returning to the loop. When you make a mistake, a miss, you analyze the error and improve the system, environment design, or habit stacking, ensuring it doesn't happen again. This is the permanent consistency system. Small tip number 1. Review your identity statement quarterly. Make sure your habits still serve who you want to become. If your identity changes, the habits must be adjusted. Small tip number 2. Celebrate the process, not the outcome. Instead of celebrating when you lose 5 kilograms, celebrate 30 consecutive days without skipping a workout. This reinforces the belief that you are a consistent person, not just a goal achiever.
You have followed me through the 12 golden secrets of consistency. These are not just tips. This is the complete blueprint for you to build a life where progress is automatic, not a struggle. Look at what you've learned. You've created a reason for being, built a safety net to never quit, and automated the starting line. Now, consistency is no longer a battle against laziness. Consistency is the system you have built. It is believing that every small action is a vote for the person you want to become in the future. Consistency is the accumulation of small victories. Don't leave this video as just a consumer of information. Become a habit engineer. Your future is not determined by big goals, but by the actions you consistently take today. Don't try to apply all 12 secrets at once. Go back to secret 2. Start super small. Choose one small goal and shrink it to the irresistible minimum. Just one push-up, just one sentence written. Remember the ultimate philosophy. Consistency is not the destination, it is the return route. If you fail, it's not the end, it's data for the next improvement. I don't want you to be perfect, I just want you to relentlessly show up. Thank you for watching. If this video was the blueprint for you, hit the like and subscribe buttons so you don't miss the next blueprints.